Hey everybody, this is Coach Parker with CoachParker.org. How you guys doing today? Hey, thanks for joining me. Hey, I've got a video on how to install my 6'2 multi-8 youth football defense, specifically the 6'2 wide tackle defense. This is a day one install on an 8U rookie team, actually having to do this either today or Saturday. So just wanted to go through this since I'm doing it this week. So, let's jump in and see what we've got here. So this is in the 6'2 wide tackle, or some people may call it a wide tackle 6 or a wide tackle 6'2, but this is my base, usually my base defense in my 6'2 multi-8 youth football defense playbook that's over at coachparker.org. But what we've got here, and I've set this up against a I-wing formation, since we went over that on Tuesday for the offense intro install. So I have that set up with the right side is where the wing back is. So, and also the right side on offense, which would be the left side on defense, is the wide side. So you guys get this. And we're going to get in an 8U alignment, which means to me it's pretty much just a run kind of defense. We're not going to set the corners up for a pass defense, but we'll go over all the positions here in this 6'2 wide tackle. So what we've got in this, and how I started out, is I will usually have rings or t-shirts set up for the offense, so the players can see the offense, and then I'll either have rings or t-shirts also with the defense, with the names and positions on them, and then I'll go over the gaps while everybody's watching, and I like to talk about that in relation also to the whole numbers that we use on offense, because I'll use both how we do the whole numbers on offense and our gaps when I tell people on defense, hey, look at this. So I expect the defense to basically know our offensive whole numbering system and the defensive gap system, and the same thing goes for our offense. So we'll talk about the A gaps, which are next to the guards, the offensive guards, the two offensive guards. The B gaps are between the tackles and the guards for offense. The C gaps between the tight end and the tackle on offense, and then the D gap is outside, usually the tight end, and then there's a kind of an E gap that would be outside, maybe a wing back, and then we have a far away gap that's called F, which is really wide for us. And so the holes for us on the left side for offense are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 2, 4, 6, 8 at, which is I use at sign for the really wide kind of sweep sign, and that would be where the F gap would be. So we talk about gaps, and we look at the offense, and we tell them that's an I formation, and these are the gaps, and the gaps work out for everything there. And then I start putting kids, and we start going through what the 6'2 means, and so we'll go the first number in the 6'2 is 6 for really the linemen that are on the line of scrimmage, and then we start going through those. And so I'll set up the two nose guards or defensive guards, and I'll set them in the A gaps, and we'll take two kids and move them over, and we put them on the inside shoulder there, and we name them Gunner and Ned, are the two for NG, nose guard, Gunner, Ned Gunner. So we'll name those two and put them there, and we say that's 2 of the 6 players. And then we will then move the tackles in, the 2 tackles, right and left, and we'll tell them they've got the C gaps, and we inside shade them on the tight end, and we say for defensive tackle, the left side is named Dan, and the left side is named Tom for defensive tackle. And we just have these nicknames to help us move people around if we need to do that. And so we have those guys sit there, and we say, okay, so that's 4 of the 6 guys. And then we say, okay, then we have two of the pretty much most important players on this particular defense are the defensive ends, and or some people call them the outside linebackers, but in the 6'2" wide tackle, they're on the line of scrimmage, and we call them defensive ends. And the wide side defensive end, his nickname is Will for wide, and the short side defensive end is Sam for short. And right now, left to us will always default as the wide side. So the Will D end will get over here, and this Sam D end will get over there, and we'll put those down. We say, okay, this is the 6 of the 6'2". These are the 6 down linemen, and you have those guys. We have the defensive guards, the defensive tackles, the defensive ends, and then we'll ask them what gap you're in and what guy you're over. Are you over the guard? Are you over the tight end? Do we know what those offensive positions are? And so we kind of go along that and kind of ask questions around that. And we're really just trying to take about 15 minutes just to intro kind of what this looks like. And so then we'll go, okay, so the next people in this 6'2" wide tackle are the 2. And who do we think those guys will be? And we'll see what they say. We'll say, well, that's 2 linebackers, and their names are Rover and Mike. And so if we have a guy in A gap, no guy in B gap, and we have a guy in C and D, where do we think the linebacker would go? And hopefully they answer, oh, the B gap, and we say yes, and we align those over the outside shoulder of that offensive tackle. And so the Rover linebacker will go onto the wide side because he's usually a little faster. The Mike linebacker, who's slower, will go on the short side of the field. And so we set that up, and we say, okay, so these are the 6'2" of the 6'2" wide tackle. You see those guys, and we say who has D, who has C, who has A. We talk about that, and then we'll say how many people are on a defense, and hopefully they say 11 players, and we say, okay, how many players are left? And they say 3, and we say those are the defensive backs. And at young ages, we're going to play our cornerbacks, which are 2 of the next 11. We play them almost on the line of scrimmage or on the line of scrimmage. And Carl, who is the wide side cornerback, plays over here by Will. And Bob, for boundary or short, is sitting over there by Sam on the short side of the field. And that's how those guys line up. And then if we've got 6'2" plus 2 is 10, we've got 1 guy left, and who can tell me what that guy is? And hopefully they say the safety, and I say, yes, our safety, our free safety is called Fred, and he's going to align on the second receiver, whoever that would be on the side of this double tight, or he has deep responsibility if we're not playing in a cover 1 or a passing situation. He may just sit in the middle of the field, but we usually move him over to the wide side or to the 2 receiver side, and we show him how to do that, and we get all the guys there, and then we move them off, and then we'll move the players back in and out of those positions, talk about those positions and where they line up. And once we kind of get everybody lined up, we may, if we have time, talk about what those responsibilities are. And usually it's cutting pretty close that we don't have time for this. And we'll move that to the next kind of day that we intro the defense or the responsibilities. And so I'll talk about that in the next video. But I also wanted to talk about today, and before we get a chance to go too further, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be a really big help. Hit the notify, like, share, comment, all the good stuff. That would really be helpful too. So the next thing we're doing today is we're going to do a tackling circuit. And we've been doing, I guess, the Seahawk Tackling for since almost when it came out. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. And so we do the roll and we do some of the pec tackles at older ages, but we normally do this wrap and roll is our intro into the Seahawk tackling. And there's a link here that you can see, and I'll try to put that in the video or in the comments, and the pictures are from that video. And thanks, that those are Seahawk video. I've just clipped those pictures out there, so give credit to those guys. Hopefully that won't hit a copyright thing on YouTube for me, but so you can see what those look like there. So the first one we'll do is usually in our 2-line kind of thing. We'll do a knees wrap and roll. One side will be a ball carrier, the next side will be the tackler, and they're just on the knees. You can see them in the picture there. And then once we get everybody comfortable with that, we'll go to where we're basically in a breakdown set, and then there's gonna on one side, and then he's gonna step, wrap, and roll. And if you haven't seen the Seahawk video, I know I'm talking about this pretty quick, you need to go watch that and all the videos surrounding that. The Seahawks, I think, have 2 major videos out about it to see what we're talking about, but that's what we're teaching here. And then the third is where we do a little angle, and you can see the third picture here. They're coming to the head at the angle there, but we'll do it slow, and then at 50%, and then at full speed, and see how that goes. Now, if we've got kids that are not, kind of getting into the full speed yet, or having trouble at the 50%, we'll take a rookie, or what we call the MPP station for maybe minimum play players, or the weaker players, or the ones that are not so ready yet. So we just call it rookie station. We'll go back over the tackle fundamentals, and we'll may set up a bag for a landing pad where they can tackle a bag to a landing pad. I've got a tackle wheel. We'll use the tackle wheel and maybe some yoga balls too, and then we'll move back into full-blown angle tackle Seahawk stations and go back kind of through that with them and just make sure they're getting up to speed. The one thing that I put up here, and I've kind of had a brain fart early, and well, I've always had one, but thinking about it this season, is what is the simplest definition of a tackle, since these are little 7, 8U guys in second grade, is really, it's just a bear hug, and you fall with your rack with the running back, or you throw down the running back once you've bear hugged them. So that's kind of what I want them to understand instead of arm tackling, is really you've got to put your shoulder in there and bear hug, because a lot of kids just want to arm tackle. It's really got to be a body on body hit, and that's what a lot of kids don't want to do. So we try to teach them, hey, it's going to be a body on body. And so that's kind of a quick tackling drill circuit, if a lot of folks have kind of been asking questions around that. The other thing that we'll go into kind of on the second day is we'll go over gap technique, holes, and alignment responsibilities. And here's another chart here on that. And I'll try to have another video on this later next week about maybe install day 2 and 3 on what we're doing there. So here you've got, let's go back. There's the 6'2" wide tackle versus an I wing. And, haven't really gone too much over alignments. We're just really introing the position and the defense, not so much responsibilities for these little 8-year-old guys, just trying to get them an idea of what's set up. I may or may not send this sheet out to them. I may have them actually watch this video possibly. So that's one thing that we can do there. So yeah, so if you like this video, please subscribe. That would be helpful. You can also head over to coachparker.org and pick up this playbook and other playbooks I've got over there. Here they are. Again, subscribe. This is Coach Parker with coachparker.org. Thanks for joining me today for the intro to the 6'2" wide tackle installed day 1 for an 8U rookie team. Hey, remember to play for fun, and winning is funner. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.